Woke up and it's on, so they're going to need a lot of energy today.
Well, first wave being ridden, Connor Coffin, world number 4, and drives into that first turn. Now eyeing up the section, it looks a little bit bumpy for him. And that nice clean face starting to come through, and he's looking for a barrel. He gets a big cover up. He's going to pull out of it so clean and goes for the foam climb to finish. That is a great
carve. So best turn so far this early morning, and credit to Connor for eyeballing this barrel on the inside. You can see, like, when we were watching this wave live, like, what is he doing? He's just kind of stalling. What is he waiting for? And then right there, he saw this in advance and got a nice little tube ride. So again, this really comes back to the wind, Shannon. The wind's going to blow these barrels wide open. And this is on the inside section near the toilet bowl. It's a pretty critical barrel, so I think the judges, you know, they'll be pretty stoked on that.
Connor now heading into next year's season with that memory in mind, as we see Jake Marshall with a solid size set lining up in front of him, goes big, finds the foam to connect with on that first big floater, and now drives vertical up into the section. Now eyeing off that finish on the toilet bowl, and a clean.
Mistakes from the youngster, and he's gonna line up this wave just nicely. Here's his routine. He's like, okay, now I'm gonna go a little sort of connection turn, trying to find a rhythm, and it puts him right here in the spot. Nice little subtle fade there too. At this point too, just sort of tags, nothing real crazy, but that's a critical section there, so by far his best move out of the 3. Again, a little conservative, but no mistakes. So I think the judges are gonna, well, there they go. They dropped an 8-point ride. So in my eyes, that's even a little elevated. You know, he didn't do anything too crazy on this wave, but again, no mistakes. Just a little tag there. If you're a fighter, those are like little jabs. But then he came into a real section on the inside. You can see how throaty it is. And he goes for a nice little finishing turn. So he'll take that. That's a pretty good score.
For Zeke to win an event here, it's one of those checklists that he wants to fill.
And now in live action, Zeke patiently eyeing up that first section, drives that rail in for a beautiful big gouge to start off with. Little check turn and sets up for that finishing section, times it so well.
Yeah. He's just been tagging it cleanly, Strider.
Yeah, and you know, we'll watch the replay here. Beautiful arc. Just pushed it right to the end, you know, set up turn, but this is the turn you were talking about. And, you know, there's a fine line of going up too early and coming out with it, and then going up too late and getting, you know, pretty much smashed by the back of the wave. But look at this arc, and then right at the end there, he pushes the fins out just to put a little exclamation point on it. That's great surfing.
That check turn right there, Strider, that was the timing. You know, he could have went too heavy on that second turn. Instead, he let off the gas to arrive at the perfect time for that toilet bowl. So that's smart.
Love that you're joining us for the call here. Big heat, round of 32, heat number 3. Getting started with that famous frontside hook from Florence. Nice high line wrap, getting things started. Off the bottom, another wrapping turn there for John. Typically riding the Ghost model from Paisel in conditions like this. It's meant to be ridden hard at 100%. An invite to the eddy as well. Back to John's wave, Barton.
Beautiful down carve there, just waiting to come around the white water, pumping the board rail to rail and into another nice wrap there. John, we can see the energy. The board kind of catches a little bit there, but he just drives through it with his power and comes into a nice little layback hack there on the inside. Punctuated finish, Joey, and good start. Control to 717 from the judges.
Pete, have you been able to really get your head around the John turn that it's being coined as, and how he put so much power into that frontside hook?
I think it's the relationship between him and John Paisel. I mean, you think about what John wants to do on a wave, and he articulates that to John.
Score on his second with 8:10 to go. Here comes John, a 2-time world champ.
Oh, watch out.
Deep off the bottom, the layback hook that he is famous for. One massive turn. Matt.
That shorter board that he can literally do is the hardest he possibly can, right? And he's going to pull it out of there, and that was easy peasy for John. And it's going to be the number that's going to get him probably back in the lead. But look at this, it is close up, just on edge, in the lip. Compresses to slow down that speed.
Isn't it? For anyone in contention, these conditions are the wild card. Shion
Crawford drills that first section right under the lip, belts it off the top. He's able to regain control on that free fall. Nice fan of water on the third maneuver. Here comes the wrapping cutback. And now getting to this inside section, picking his point. Little float. And he'll step off.
We just saw the best wave of the heat here, BL.
Yeah.
I mean, look how quality this wave is. It wasn't a huge wave, but it had that kind of steepness on the face. He saw how good it was, and he did, you know, the real major turn there was that last section. He was able to get around it and finish it. So this is going to be that first good wave.
Yeah.
And I think that he'll bring him into the lead, and Shion this could be right here with 8 minutes to go, finding himself into the quarterfinals. And what an achievement that would be for such a youngster.
Especially when you have nothing to lose and all to gain, and all you've been doing is winning lately. How about these turns right here, BL?
Out of the lip, and it looked like as he came down this one, he might get stuck behind because he was so far behind the whitewater. He seemed to get a little push from that bit of whitewater, and the wave just held up perfectly. I think what we just saw there was local knowledge come into play, and the fact that he's surfed here so much and he knows this wave so well, he was able to find that best wave of the heat so far. Will it score that way? Sure did, mate.
7.33 for Crawford, as he is taking down so many of his heroes through the early rounds, and he's in first place here in the round of 32.
And passed me on the rankings and situations like that. Today, very challenging Haleliwa, and the guys that need to be in the heat qualifying, they have some pressure to deal with.
Well, here we go. A guy that's already qualified. He just wants more experience than Haleliwa, maybe take home a title. This is Griffin Colapinto in the red jersey, starting off and looking smooth in some challenging, difficult conditions. Heavy water, Griffin Colapinto with this. Griffin, talk us through this, Keanu.
Yeah, here Griffin just opening up the heat, really just trying to draw everything out, looking to be complete, get on the board, put pressure on the competitors, excuse me. You know, as you see, Griffin's board doesn't look super long, looks just right. Kind of getting stuck up in the lip there, but beautiful execution and complete ride.
Actually the first ever to qualify for the tour from Maui. Liam O'Brien from Burleigh Heads in Australia, driving through a big oncoming section. Board's giving him some nice pace to get around to the open face again. Nice flow through that top turn, just close it out nice and as he made to the quarterfinals. Back to O'Brien here, Ross.
Well, we saw Cody Young get a 5.83 on a much smaller wave, but with real nice power turns. Liam O'Brien, a better wave, bigger, definitely a lot taller, and just some clean sort of swoops, a couple little tags off the whitewash there. So Liam kind of cruising into
the quarterfinals, also getting involved in this exchange. Connor O'Leary, Barton.
Drives off the bottom, beautiful snap. Could this be the highest scoring wave of the heat? It definitely looks like the best wave, Ross. Beautiful, clean face.
I love that. Wow. Amazing top to bottom, right? Or bottom to top, I should say. Really good bottom turn, straight into smooth carb. So, yeah, for sure, BL. He's got a 3.
I can't think of people who you think are better than him. He's right up there with the very best. How low did he get and compress into that turn? And look at this smooth face. He found a diamond in the rough and did the work he needed to do to go into first place.
Yeah, I think he was done fiddling around with the inside.
In his career on the championship tour, 76 heat wins, 1 career CT win that he had at Karamas over legendary surfer Jeremy Flores. Big snap there from Connor O'Leary, drops to the bottom, huge bottom turn and a classic backhand arc. That's going to support his toolies spiking and more cleanup steps on the way. We'll get back to this one though. Connor's last wave, Barton.
Drives out of the top, goodbye 367, that's for sure. And he timed that last turn perfectly, didn't it? He didn't want to hit the lip. He wanted to make sure he got that nice round arc and got down before the whitewater clipped him. So he managed that perfectly. And there's that backhand vertical throwing spray up into the sky.
He's a big kid, which doesn't hurt, right? He's 6'2", probably weighs 190 pounds, I'm guessing, something like that. And to be with 4 minutes to go.
Big wide open wall for Igarashi, hard off the bottom, snap to slide, he'll control it. Rock and roll off the lip. Springing into the lip again, and his foot came off for a moment. You can tell he's trying to add something extra to that last.
It was a big call from Vashko.
Back to this wave for Kanoa Barton.
Oh, steep, and the way he held that rail, you saw the rail disconnect for that moment in the whitewater. This is such a difficult wave to surf. He did it so good. Let's have a look at what he tries to put a little rock and roll in there at the top and try to tweak it out. The front foot left the board, and it was almost disastrous.
Well, we talked about how he got that CT, that big CT win at Karamas, and he did it with these kind of moves right here. Watch this little hit float. Again, it reminds me of Adriano. So he's adding just a little bit of spray, rock and roll, like you said, Biel, just to like get some hang time up there to make a relatively tame move look a little more critical. Again, Kanoa is just so smart.
Great rhythm there for Kanoa, just with a very hard-working combo. Kanoa Igarashi now with some speed to burn at the buzzer. Quick whip there as he's trying to protect second from Vasco Ribeiro as we close out heat number 8. Vasco needing a 6.83 is at a bit of a stretch.
5 minutes where he got swept by that set and had to go back around.
Absolutely.
We'll watch Kanoa's wave as he was looking to protect second, Barton.
Nice face in front of him. I love the last turn here. He just whips it up like a karate chop. Yeah! And pulls it back down.
So quick, and that top turn was so clean, with so much fun.